Today I'm going to talk about using ganache underneath fondant. This is white chocolate ganache because it is a vanilla sponge cake. It's a 3-layer 7-inch. And I always use ganache underneath fondant. I do the upside down method, and all of this is explained in this PDF about cake decorating. This is the contents page. It's got lots of cake decorating tips and advice, and it's got step-by-step, including how to cover a cake in fondant with the panelling or the all-in-one method. This is available to purchase through the Stan Store on my page. My ratios of white chocolate ganache are 3:1, so that's 3 parts white chocolate to 1 part double cream, but the ratios do differ for different ganaches. And once I have filled the cake, I do a crumb coat of ganache, and then it goes in the fridge for around half an hour, and then I do another layer of ganache, just going round each time with my scraper in between and filling in the holes with my palette knife. I find going clockwise and anti-clockwise with the scraper really helps to create a nice smooth finish. Someone asked me recently why I use ganache instead of buttercream underneath my fondant. And there's 2 main reasons. So first of all, I feel that ganache creates a smoother finish for underneath the fondant. And secondly, I find it more reliable because it sets more firmly. It holds everything in place. The buttercream, especially in the warm weather, can bulge out between the layers of the cake and create like bulges or rings around the cake. If you are covering it in buttercream, but ganache, because it sets nice and firm, it just holds everything nicely in place even if it's a bit warm. So much so that I often use ganache underneath buttercream on buttercream cakes just to add that extra layer of stability. Here I am doing the panelling method, which is how I cover my fondant cakes now. I'd say 9 out of 10 times. I just find it much easier. My favourite fondant is PME, but I also love the Sugar Paste, Smart Flex and Couture. These fondants are pretty firm, so I do microwave them for around 10 to 20 seconds just to make them a little bit softer, and I find that mixing them with a bit of supermarket fondant helps to knead them as well, because supermarket fondant tends to be softer. If I'm going for a light blue fondant, I will add a little bit of blue supermarket fondant just to soften it up and also give it that colour without having to use food gel, because I find that food gel can dry out the fondant a little bit. I measured the cake there just to make sure that my panels were going to reach, and with the panelling method you do get a little seam over the back, but using lots of smoothers, these ones are Flexi Smoothers from Sugar and Crumbs, that seam will virtually disappear. This is a cake covered in 2 different colours, so I'm just doing a rough edge around the top, and then I'm going to add the green panel underneath, and again just pull out that edge to give it that rough look, which I think matches the overall theme of the cake. Once I'd added the fondant, I attached the animals and the name with some royal icing. This is so good if you want something to set nice and hard. I have filmed a video of how I made these fondant animals, so if you would like to see that, pop an emoji below of your favourite animal and I will share that with you soon. I added some leaves that I had printed out onto wafer paper with my edible printer, and I attached those in place with some royal icing. So this is the finished cake all done. That is a 3-layer 7-inch cake covered in white chocolate ganache and fondant, and I just love this style. I think it's so cute. This is the second one, maybe the third I've done in this style, and I can see why it's popular.